lost our picture in picture. Where did it go?
I did, I got all my stuff, it came in the mail.
Oh, I don't have this hooked up.
I'm sure how that's gonna work with that.
I wanna see how much traffic my road.
Is there gonna be a divider between that? So, what if you don't make a mistake of passing it, the wrong spot, you're only gonna go in the mail for me, then
Somebody else that is there?
You're not supposed to cross the dotted line.
yeah, you will, you'll get a bill.
Right. Yeah. Because I've seen it on like cameras.
Well, so the deal is, so everybody got
Fireworks
so
on.
You get picked up twice in passage.
you're only supposed to get in and out of that lane.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
There's, the office, the office, because it's got its own
Because
exit.
they picked up people.
Yeah. And then,
And people
and then
think,
I
I
really
don't
think
think
it's
it's.
like, so, like, 119.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
like,
know.
it works out great, like, drive straight through it.
Yeah. Well,
It depends on,
Weird
if
out.
I get in the fast lane, I'm paying $1 to drive to that, someone's better be doing 85 miles an
it's
hour.
$1.85.
85.
Yeah,
Speed limit.
it's the fast lane.
It's not the fast lane.
That's not,
It's the fast lane, if you ain't in the fast lane, get out.
it's not 85. Speed limit is not 85.
Hey, hey,
Get that 4 gallon ammonia.
You're gonna get your dollar fee for using it, and then a speeding ticket that the camera caught you.
25 or a buck 50,
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know
what they're talking about.
And then
There you go.
Hey,
that was evident the other.
Oh,
There we go. Okay.
it's just saying it costs you to.
Do I?
You have executive session.
We will, yeah.
yeah, I gave one.
Okay. We'll do one. And I've got what you're supposed to say. Okay, sorry we're starting a little late here, but we are going. Okay. We're trying something new tonight. We got our new AV stuff, and we have a little presentation to kind of go along with council meetings so people can see stuff. So I guess we will call the meeting to order and start with a roll call.
Coffee. Hemphill.
Here.
Potter.
Here.
Gravel. Connie won't be here. Weirs will be late.
Okay.
So we don't have a quorum?
Yeah, we got three. We got
Where's-
Rebel. So we're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see one of them.
So I guess
Oh, Richard's right here.
yeah, Richard's there. I was going to. We kind of got we were in the other room too long. So everybody stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then we'll do a prayer here. Lord, we are grateful for the opportunity to serve this community. We ask for the wisdom in our discussions, patience with one another, and clarity in our decisions. We also lift up the members of our community who may be facing hardship, illness, or uncertainty, and ask for comfort and strength for them and those who care for them. May our actions tonight be guided by respect, responsibility, and a genuine desire to do what's best for the people of Lynn Valley. Amen.
Amen. Something wonderful.
There we go. Okay, so we did the call to order, roll call, pledge of allegiance prayer, and now we are going to move on to the mayor's report. So, thank everybody for coming. I've completed my first full month, and then just a little bit more as your mayor, continuing to learn and navigate multiple projects, and everything I learn, there's more to learn. I learn there's more to learn. The work on the property tax evaluation project I talked about last month is kind of paused for the moment. Some other things have came up, but I'm still planning on having an update for it at the town hall we hope to do in April. One thing I am starting to explore the formation of a growth and economic development committee. They're not looking to take any action on that tonight, more than just for everybody's awareness. That is something that's on my radar that we will be talking about over the next few meetings, next few months. I've also started the process of redeveloping the city website to improve transparency and access. I am doing that myself, so as to not cost the city any money for doing that. It won't be perfect, but it'll be hopefully organized a little bit better and a little easier for people to find their information. So I have no request from council on any of that, no action from them on any of that right now. So I guess that's about all I've got to say on that. Clerk's report.
Last month's total income was $771,835.25. We wrote out $125,250.48 in vouchers. I do have a page 2 on this one. This one shows the accounts for the projects, which are held up at First National. The 2 lagoon accounts will be merged next month. Anybody have any questions?
What's the total amount of vouchers for you to put it for?
$125,000, $125,250.48.
Motion to approve the January 2026.
Vouchers?
Vouchers.
In the amount of $125,250.48.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
You wanna approve minutes?
Motion to approve the January 12th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
I'll let you do that. January 14th. I'll let you do that.
What's that?
Make a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve for January 14th, 2026 special meeting minutes?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You say aye.
Mm-hmm.
Ayes have it.
Choose your own. I might do this one.
Anything else for Mindy? No? Okay. Moving on to our first citizen participation moment of the evening. This is for anybody that has anything they want to talk about that's on the agenda, where we can have any kind of questions or answers or anything like that. There'll be another one later in the meeting for non-agenda items. So is there anyone here that has something they want to say, ask, anything? Going once? Nope. Moving on. The sewer report. Sewer systems operating normally, normal maintenance monitoring ongoing. Grinder pumps have been handled. We did have one issue where a sewer line was hit during water line construction, causing a minor spill. That's been taken care of. So, any questions from anybody on that? You guys are being quiet again. Nuisance code report. There's a summary on the screen. Do you guys have anything to add, or anybody have any questions?
I just wrote another ticket today for a campground building lot. Outside of that, there can both have been no new developments since that both written.
All right. Council have any questions? Building codes and permits. The details or summaries on the screen. If anybody has any questions, or anybody, you guys have any updates, or
The original, report was put out last week. We have closed an additional 25 permits over the course of the last 5 days.
Wow.
We are hopefully on track to work into the March permits and April permits beginning this week.
Cool.
Come
Questions?
come a long way from being 300 or 400 behind.
Yeah, good work, guys.
Oh, yeah. And we got one from 22 still, and we're gonna close that out, I think, by the end of March. I think it's the end of March is the deadline, and then that'll be the last one from 22, 23, I do believe is completely closed out, and 24, we have, looks like 14 extended. So, gonna be working on getting them closed out.
Good job. Police report. Anything to add or questions?
And I gave you the monthly report and then also, the year-end numbers for 2025. And comparing that to the previous year-end numbers before that.
Anybody have any questions on that? Fire department.
Everything's in the report, same thing, it's got the year-end statistics too, how many we had in 25. New shut.
Any questions? No. Water project. We are approximately 43% complete with the water project, the construction phase of it. Booster space station is complete and operational. Testing and system integration is ongoing. They've had some weather impacts, I don't know why, they didn't wanna work in the snow and ice for some reason. They actually started sanitation of the tower today, they showed up to do that, so that's moving right along. And the change order for the additional meters have been approved by the USDA. We do have a pay requisition that we need to approve for that.
It's for BG Consultants and Henninger, the total is $662,317.22. He handed it to.
Just need a motion.
Mhm.
Motion to approve invoice, right?
Sorry.
Invoice.
It's pay rec number 8.
Yeah.
Pay requisition number 8. In the amount of $662,317.22. To B&G, right?
And Henninger.
And
Anybody second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. I do have we'll talk about the water operator down under new business, but we do need to move on that, soon. Next steps is the water tower testing and I don't know how to spell Phil apparently. Continue the distribution line installation, ongoing coordination with USDA and consultants, and we've been having some conversations that we're gonna wanna have another workshop on the, water project to reevaluate the connection requirements for properties served by the new system. No changes or decisions at this time, but we want to, price up another workshop for next week. We can talk about that a little bit later, but. Lagoon expansion project. Any questions on water before I move on?
But they put it in the money mechanism on the tower yet, or on the fill station?
I have not, no, not yet.
You know we're gonna do that?
I was gonna contact Aaron, cause after, I need someone that I need to put on as water operator, so hopefully tomorrow I can contact him with the water operator.
Anything else on the water? I go fast, so yell at me if I skip something. Lagoon expansion project. Moving into the constructions phase, we've signed the notice of award and issued it to Double S Dirt Works, USDA coordination ongoing. The next steps will be to execute the construction contract with Double S, schedule a pre-construction meeting, and construction activities can begin after that. I do request council action to authorize me to execute the construction contract with Double S once we get it. I don't know if we vote on that tonight or if we wait until we see it.
So they'll give it to you and you can forward to Jamie. If he says good, they're gonna give you the authorization to just go ahead and move
Okay.
forward.
So I'll entertain a motion to authorize me to do that.
Motion to approve, the mayor to enter into a contract with
Double S Dirt Works,
Double S Dirt Works for
Lagoon expansion.
lagoon expansion.
And I second that.
All in favor?
Oh, on Jimmy's approval.
Yeah. Jamie. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Ayes have it. Moving right along. Old business, we've got a resolution 147 on the fee schedule. There was a change that needed to be made.
I put the wrong amount on the bulk haul and I forgot to change the year on several things. So, pretty much the same except for one amount. I highlighted it. The rate per 1,000 gallons for dumping over here is 1958 as of 2026. And I had the old. So, that's all the changes on that one.
So, need a motion to approve resolution 147 for the fee schedule changes.
Motion to approve resolution 147, resolution repealing resolution 144 and establishing fees pertaining to city services, permits, and applications offered by the city, and reference within the code of Lynn Valley.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The next question on old business, I talked about this last month. I would like to return to 2 council meetings per month for a period of time until we decide it's no longer necessary. There's a lot going on, and trying to squeeze everything into 1 meeting a month, I think is gonna be difficult over the next few months. So I would ask council to approve moving back to the second and fourth Mondays at 6 like we used to do. If I can get a motion for that.
Go ahead.
Motion to go back to 2 meetings a month
Yeah,
on when?
second and fourth like we used to.
The second and fourth Mondays of the month at 6 p.m.
Yep.
I second that.
When do you want to start this one?
Start this month, yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a question.
Okay.
My question would be, with this second meeting, is there be any need for any special meeting or special meetings or workshops?
The workshop still have to be separate of a meeting, right?
I think so.
Yeah. No, that doesn't mean we couldn't do the workshop before.
That could potentially bring us up to 3 meetings a month.
We could always do the workshop in conjunction with a meeting. We could have a meeting and then a workshop or vice versa on the same night.
Yeah, you could meet earlier, stay a little later.
Yeah, we could do the workshop earlier or something.
Just my standpoint, I'm not going back to 2 meetings a month. I'm gonna make a meeting and a workshop if needed. But if I don't wanna get into 3 meetings a month, I hate more business.
Yeah, I understand that. I would assume that, going back 2 meetings a month would pretty much eliminate the need for special meetings, other than some kind of emergency situation.
We can always hold a workshop before the meeting.
Yeah. So, we need to vote again, or? I don't know if Richard voted.
Jeff?
How do you vote?
I don't know. I'm opposed to 2 meetings a month, but I guess let's try and see what happens. I mean, if I'd like to go back to 1 meeting a month.
Yeah, I don't see this being a long-term thing. I think there's just a lot of things going on right now that we need to get resolved.
Rather than make new laws, why don't we just do workshops? I don't have a problem with that. It's just my input. You guys, everybody looks like.
said.
He wants to run workshops instead of, so you're saying no to two?
I'd rather not do two.
Okay.
I mean, it's just my thought. I don't know. We have a lot of work to do, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to downplay that, but my thought is that switching back and forth is, first of all, a lot of paperwork for Mindy and a lot of work for the council. So we're switching back and forth like this. I'm not sure.
Is it more work or less work for you, Mindy, to do two? Or the same?
The thing about workshops is you can't take any
Can't take action.
But like when we need to redo that water ordinance again, that would be a workshop. We would just have to wait longer to get that approved. What else would,
Let me ask this, so if we go to 2 meetings a month, workshops, if we need to take action on workshops, if we hold in one or before, and then vote on it at council? I mean, we had to wait until publish it, any action to that.
yeah, I mean, I have to publish it before. There was something else that we needed
Right,
a workshop.
I mean, we'll go to 2 meetings, it just seems like a lot of work to go back.
My thought was, I'll catch John up on where we're on. We're discussing, we have a motion, on the table right now. We're debating to vote on, to go back to 2 meetings a month for a period of time, because there's a lot of work to be done. Richard's got concerns about 2 meetings plus workshops. We talked about we could have workshops in front of meetings if we needed to. So that's, what else did I miss to catch him up on?
That's how we did it before, wasn't it, John? Just have a workshop and then the regular meeting.
We've done that way, but then with certain workshops, like our budget workshops, they would just be for that because it would be,
Yeah, they're so long.
3 hours long.
yeah, 3 or 4 hours long.
I mean, I'm not wanting to drag out a bunch of meetings, but there's a lot to be done, and either we're gonna have some really, really long 1 meetings a month, or we can break them up into 2. Cause there's things I wanna move through that I haven't even brought up yet, because these other meetings are so full of just project updates and normal stuff that the second meeting would allow us to take action and do things beyond just the normal business.
Richard, this doesn't have to be long term, I mean, just so he feels like he's caught up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand.
Then we can go
I
back to
understand
one
where
of
he's
mine.
coming from. And I just think there's a lot of work going back and forth. So, I mean, if we could get it knocked back down, or we can have our special meetings again, you know, like we have been. So, I mean, you guys vote how you want, I vote the way I like.
That's the way it's supposed to be done, but.
Yep. Are we ready to vote? Do you have enough information to vote, John, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you, do you think we need 2 meetings a month?
I think we do for a while, cause there's a lot of
Well,
things
you're
that
the
need to be
mayor,
done.
so you're gonna know better than me.
Alright, so I guess all in favor of going back to 2 meetings a month?
I,
All opposed?
Nay? Okay.
Hey,
Ayes have it.
Turn Richard back around.
I'll try to give you.
And then, we got a few new business items. We got a couple of executive sessions we need to go into, so take a motion to adjourn into one of them. The first one is regarding non-elected personnel. I don't think we probably need more than, 15, 20 minutes for it at
So you want
most.
15 minutes.
Yeah, say
Remember,
15
you got
minutes.
5 minute leeway.
Yeah, say 15 minutes.
That'll return us when?
At,
Well, you gotta make the motion.
Over here.
Hang on. 6:45?
yeah, return at 6:45.
I motion that we go to executive session for personnel legal, is that's what we need?
Non-elected
Non-elected
personnel.
Non-elected personnel to leave now and
You gotta
And
say say where we're gonna return to.
Yeah, we're gonna return at, 6:45.
Where at?
Here?
You got to, we just found that out.
Here, yep. That's the motion.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We will be back
Who
at
seconded
six
that?
45.
Who seconded that?
Okay, we are back from executive session with no action taken. John, did you have something you wanted to?
Yes, I would like to, present some new business or personnel business. What I'm thinking is, I would like to make a motion that we change the job descriptions of our codes clerk and our building inspector, and only have the building inspector doing building inspections, and have the codes clerk take over codes completely. Going out there, taking pictures, and I think that, our building inspector needs to get some certifications.
You got a
So-
timeline on that?
What's that?
You got a timeline on that?
I haven't quite made the motion yet, but I'm thinking, 90 days. But, also, part of our city policy, there's been a lot of complaining out there in the community, is that the building inspector's vehicle should stay up here at City Hall. It can be picked up there and left there.
No personal use.
No personal usage at all. So I make the motion that we change the responsibilities of the codes clerk to complete codes enforcement and clerk at a pay of $22.56 an hour. And our building inspector
Starting when?
starting Monday? What,
I got payroll this week, so I can start it.
effective immediately. And change the pay of our codes inspector to $19.58. And if the some certifications are gotten within the next 90 days, then we can give some of that money back. But that will be discussed at that point in time. So did you get all of that written down for the motion? City truck stays up here,
Codes enforcement makes what, 22?
$22.56,
Building inspector?
$19.68. And it's open for discussion. That's a motion. Now you can get either do a second or conversation, whatever you want to do.
Did he say second?
Yeah, it scared me, I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah. Richard has seconded.
Here's a second. Any discussions on the matter? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Now we need another executive session
Yep,
for attorney-client privilege.
yep. That's probably 15 minutes.
I motion that we do an executive session to come back at 7:15 to this meeting room. A 15-minute executive session.
I'll second.
All approved?
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Be back in 15. All right, we are back from executive session with no action taken.
Jeremy still awake?
Been talking food the whole time now, I'm hungry.
I'm glad I wasn't out here, I'd be hungry.
If I was you, I'd been happy.
So the next item on the agenda is the old coach truck. What are we gonna do with it? How do we wanna get, I assume we wanna get rid of it. How do we wanna get rid of it? Discussion ideas, I think Mindy, you had an idea.
Sealed bids. Somebody asked already if we were gonna take bids on it for sealed.
We are?
I'm asking.
Well, I mean, we can do it on the fire truck too, I don't care, we can do it on all of it. So
What?
No, we're just talking about the old coach truck, that Ford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've already made a motion on the fire truck and stuff to put that up.
Okay.
Purple Wave, yeah.
So you just want to take
Purple
sealed
Wave,
bids on this?
Yes,
Okay.
cause I don't think it's worth Purple Wave.
Yeah, and they moved to put those on purple wave.
Well, you could, if we're doing it all at once, I mean, it doesn't cost any more to just, if we want to put all of them on there, and if they don't get the value you want, you can put a set amount on it.
What do you think, Cory? What do you think? Put it on Purple Wave?
Why are you asking Corey? This is Carolyn's deal.
Well, it's just on the coach truck, like I said, with Purple Wave, you're already putting the other stuff on Purple Wave, it's not gonna cost you any more to put that on there. But if you wanna do sealed bids, like, the city's always had a good luck with doing that, they pretty good at the stuff they've done.
On a truck like that, you're gonna make more money on a sealed bid than you are on Purple Wave. But that's up to the council.
As long as everyone knows, you know, you just gotta make sure everybody
Yeah.
has issues, it just needs work.
Put up the gun range and shoot them.
I agree with
That might be fun.
Get some tannerite, load up.
Hmm.
Yeah, we could use it to return to the park too, if I.
I paid
Training.
$25,000 for that truck. I'd get at least $3 out of it.
Suppose the park's off it.
So does anybody wanna
So
make
we
a
don't
motion
need
on
to-
what to do with it, or?
We don't need to take any action on that. They can just, or she can just do it.
Okay, we don't need to do anything?
Do what?
We don't have to make a motion and take a vote on,
Sealed bids?
correct, Amy?
Correct.
So she can just send out a thing that they're doing sealed bids.
Oh, so when do we wanna open these bids?
Can you hand me
Next
that
board, or
purple
council
page?
meeting?
So, that's it, moving on then?
Or date to open them,
Oh, date to open them.
so I can tell them when to have them here.
And you're doing 2 meetings this month now.
Mm-hmm.
That'll make it the first meeting.
March.
Yep.
First meeting in March.
Which should be March 9th,
Thank you.
because March always matches February unless it's
2010.
leap year.
Let's leave here. Okay.
Okay,
Is that what year is that, 17, 14?
I don't remember.
17?
and then moving on to water operator. When we had the last water meeting, Mike Page was there. And we got to talk to him about the water operator and et cetera, and he said that he offered to make us a bid to be our water operator, which is gonna be, Mindy and I felt that it was be probably a better situation, at least for the time being. We don't have to buy equipment, we don't have to worry about it, we don't have to get somebody trained, it's just, there is somebody there that knows how to do it. He sent us a quote in today that I'll pass around, but he said, Page Enterprises will provide a certified water operator to maintain and operate the district. This will include locate requests, daily chlorine, residual testing, facilitate water line repairs, and general compliance will be kept for the system per KDHE standards. Initial contract amount will be $2,500 per month and reassessed monthly until construction is complete and the district, as the district grows. Locates will cost $75 per locate and mileage will be charged at the federal rate. He'll send a schedule of equipment rates, and that's what we have, so I'll just let everybody take a quick look at that. We do need to get somebody on to that yesterday, so we can move forward with this, so if you guys take a look at that and tell me your thoughts, discuss.
I think it's a lot better idea to contract it out than just start a whole new department.
For now, yes.
Yeah, as things grow, I think it could be,
You already seen?
and hold it up in front of Richard.
Oh, I should have emailed it to you, Richard, I'm sorry. Got that right at the end.
And Mike already knows this, so.
Yeah,
What are we paying for sewer operator? 16.85 or something like that a month?
I don't know. You know?
Sorry, what?
What do we pay Paige right now for the sewer operator?
It's a flat 2,000, and then per, like 258, if you have to change out grinder
Yeah,
pumps
yeah.
and then locates. And
Well, this district is gonna be a lot bigger than that, so
Mhm.
I think the 2,500 is a good deal.
You got any thoughts on it, Curtis? Richard?
I'm trying to forward it to Richard now. So he wants to.
But Richard, if you don't want us to vote on this tonight, we can wait till our next meeting to vote on it.
Yeah.
Apparently my mic was muted, so I'm sorry. My thought is this going to be a month-to-month contract, a year-long contract, or no contract at all? Just an agreement?
Did he say?
All we
It
got
said-
so far is this piece of
I
paper.
think we've been doing it by the year, haven't we?
I don't remember renewing a contract with him for sewer.
Well, he has initial contract amount, so that does lead me to believe we would have
Richard, I
some kind of
emailed that
contract.
to you.
Is that a year's worth?
Well, he says 2,500 per month and reassess monthly until construction is complete as the district grows.
Oh, okay.
So it's
There we
month to month, I guess.
So it's month to month.
Right, the only thought I would have is, we're still going to be looking for our own water operator. correct?
Yes, I agree, yes.
Okay, all right, I'm good with that.
So you think we should enter into contract with him tonight? Or give the mayor the authority to do that, or should we wait till the next meeting?
Hey, I don't know what would change if we waited.
Okay.
Do we need one right now?
Yeah,
Sure, he won't get cheaper.
because we
Yeah.
can't, there's things we can't do until we get an operator on board.
So I motion that we give Mayor Potter the authority to enter into contract with Page Enterprises as our water operator on a month-to-month contract.
Second that.
Any more discussion on it? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Hey, we got a water operator. And then we have, the next item on new business is accessory structure definitions, and that is, Matthew's going to talk about that, so.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Camera switch.
What I'm trying to get off of this is some clearance, or some clarification for us as building inspectors and what we deal with. Right now, the 2006 IRC only has a definition for an accessory structure. It's in your packets. It's very broad. It covers anything from a tiny little building up to a 3,000 square foot two-story building. We have no definition for shed because the IRC does not define shed. And neither does it define skid shed, which in our community, we have quite a bit of them. And they're used from everything from sheds, cabins. We have 2 out there right now that are being converted into houses. So it's very broad. What I'm trying to determine on our need for accessory structure, accessory construction can cover all of those. But when we get to shed, and we use the term skid shed, if we use it, the POA uses it, it doesn't really say, we don't have a definition of what a skid shed is, or what a shed is. Normally, a shed is anything under a certain amount of square footage. Here in this community, we've always done under 240 square feet. The POA also follows that 240 square foot rule for something that does not need a foundation, no tie downs or anything like that. Someone can put a shed. It's very easy with skid sheds because they're portable and movable, which makes it easy. The only difference we have on that with the POA is we say 5 feet from property lines. The POA says 2.5 feet from property lines. It'd be great if we could get that together so residents aren't getting 2 different pieces of information from 2 different places.
What was the POA's?
The POA is 2.5 feet from property lines, and ours is 5 feet from property lines. And that's on a structure, that's a shed, so it's something small and is movable, doesn't have a foundation. has a foundation under it. So if you put even come down to like a metal building, anything like that that's anchored down, it has to be 10 feet off the property lines. So that way we're not getting two large structures near each other, mainly so Jeremy doesn't have to go to two fires, hopefully never have to go to any fires, but that's why we want separation from things. It's because when one building catches fire, we don't want it to catch another building on fire.
And to have room to get in between them.
Correct, yes, and then also, yes, and that's why we want at least 5 feet of distance from one structure to another structure, because if you don't, when you get someone to cram two sheds together and one starts to rot and fall apart, they can't repair it or fix it, because they're right on top of each other. So I've listed in here different examples, and I'm not asking council to vote on anything tonight, but what I'm looking for on the sheds, on the back of that first page, I have two very loose definitions. One is for skid building, and very easily a skid building is just a self-contained portable building designed on a reinforced platform with either pressure-treated wood or metal skids to act as the foundation. I talked to multiple different skid building companies from around here that I've seen come in, and their design is on a skid building is for it to be put on a gravel pad. You drop it on the ground that's level, it's gonna level itself out over time. And then on shed, I just have an accessory building under 240 square feet measured from the footprint. I don't think either of those definitions should be voted on. We obviously need to talk to legal, because there are probably some other words that need to be put in there that I don't know of. But some of the other things council should think about, we have an issue currently with a difference in our code. Well, no, we have no code at all for somebody attaching utilities to a skid shed. So if you throw a skid shed out there, you can put power to it, you can connect it to a sewer tank, and you can connect it to a water tank. The only issue I see on that, not really with power, because when you put power on the building, you're supposed to have a 1-foot slip joint that'll let that move up and down if that building moves. You connect a sewer tank to it, we get a strong wind through here, and it shifts that building enough, and it cracks the sewer line. Mike Page can tell you what that cleanup looks like and what you have to do to deal with it. I'm thinking if we separate shed from accessory building, and if we go into an accessory building over 240 square feet, and if somebody wants to connect anything to it, we have an anchoring plan for it. Just like we would for a mobile home, where they can do ground tied anchors to secure that building down so it can't shift if something was hooked to it. Just a couple of different options on that I'm hoping council will take a look at, make some decisions on eventually, but it does get hard for us when we have somebody that's wanting to bring in a 16 by 40 skid shed, and then they want to use it as an accessory building, but then they also want to bring in a small skid shed, and our code says only one skid shed. Really, one's a shed and one's a building. So there are some differences. Everything here that I've seen so far has been anchored down. When it comes to the metal buildings, all those manufacturer gives an anchoring plan, and every builder follows those plans. So, because a metal building will blow away really easy. So those are just some things I'm hoping council will look at as far as it comes to skid sheds, accessory buildings, some of those different options. But I definitely think we should get a definition for skid shed, if nothing, or for skid building. Even I use the term skid shed, it should be skid building, so that we have an understanding of the differences in those when people start using them. Because we do have people that are turning those skid buildings into residences, and they require some good modification to become a residence to meet code, because they're not built that way, which is why we have that affidavit that people sign.
Well, first of all, they gotta have a cross put in them, right?
Correct, yes, but they're being put in.
I thought we didn't allow utilities hooked up to skid sheds.
There's nothing in our code that says that, because A, we have no definition of shed. So
Yeah.
there's nothing in our code that says you can't hook utilities to a shed. The POA does have a covenant against it. But I know right now, since I've been here, I know of one shed, and it's shed size, it's, you know, probably a 10 by 20, 12 by 20, and it has a sewer tank hooked to it. It's hard line to it.
I know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't have an issue with the tank on the outside of the building and somebody just brought their own items out and dumped them in there. Don't think that would be a big issue, but to have that connected to it, you break that sewer line and that tank starts leaking, you might not know it when that connection's 2 feet underground. You might not know until enough water builds up that it gets real soupy or soppy, just like if you have a real septic tank and it backs up, and then a company has to come out and dig it up. Any questions for me or anything like that? I'd be happy to answer them.
No, I'll definitely, you say this is in our package?
It is in the packet, yep, and everything's in there. I give recommendations and different scenarios on utilities and things like that
Okay.
on there.
Did you come up with anything on silt fencing?
So I have looked at silt fencing, probably in March, when we get to that warmer weather. I'm trying to put something together for silt fencing for protecting our lakes and for our recreational waters.
Cause I've seen it on the building permits, but we don't have no.
It's on the building permit, but there's no ordinance, so there's no way to enforce it. If somebody doesn't do it, there's nothing we can do to it.
Any other questions, or is this something we want to, I know we don't want to vote on it tonight,
It's gotta go
or I'm
to
assuming,
planning.
yeah, because this goes to planning and zoning. Okay, that's
Then
why,
come back to us.
that's what I thought, yeah, okay.
Want me to move right on, sir?
But we
Yep.
need to research it, like, he's got some stuff, we need to go over that before we decide what we're sending the planning and zoning for them.
Is that a workshop thing, or is that a,
It can be either or.
okay.
We can talk to the POA at the POA meeting about the, distances.
Yeah,
I would like to see us get on the same page with some of those distances, so just so people aren't coming here, they look on one, they're like, okay, this is good, and then they're like, well, my neighbor has this, why can't I do that? And then if they talk to the PO, they're like, oh no, 2.5 feet, but ours is 5 feet.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not, a portable building, I don't think is a huge concern with where you place that at, as long as it's, you know, somewhat off your property line, yeah.
so I guess if there's nothing else on that, we'll move on to his next topic, which is tiny homes.
All right, so my next topic is a rezoning, request for the R2 lots, which encompass the multi-purpose lots and the camping lots. The council wanted to do a small section of that. In those lots, it'd be great. What I'm looking at is to ask the council to consider tiny homes in our community. Right now, our smallest allowable built residence is a 600 square foot house. If you put a 600 square foot house on a camping lot, on a single camping lot, the largest other thing you could put on there is another 600 square foot. So if you had a garage or a building, because you can only build 30% of your property with structures. So
But-
it's almost impossible.
But on a camping lot, you can go 2 stories, have 300 on the first story and 300 on the second.
Not according to us, it's 600 square feet by the footprint is what the code says.
What about the one down on, what you call it, Eric's place?
600 square feet.
Is it 600?
Mm-hmm, yep. Yep, his going in is 600 square feet, that's why it's 600 square feet. So what I'm asking for is, and I'm not, obviously not on the building lots, because I don't want someone building a $500,000 house on the lake and their neighbor putting, you know, a 250 square foot house right next to them, because that's gonna affect their property value. What I'm asking for is, allow from 599 square feet down to 200 square feet. 200 square feet being the minimum size by International Residential, or International Code Council or residential codes. 200 square feet is about the minimum that somebody could live in. You got 70 square feet as a bedroom is the smallest bedroom you could have, and then you need another 50 square feet of what they would say would be a kitchen or living space, and then you gotta have, I can't remember the exact square footage for a bathroom. Comes up to 190 total, so I went with 200. A 10 by 20 building is a pretty standard sized building. As far as codes go on tiny homes, we could literally just adopt the 2018 section out of the IRC on tiny homes, because they've already written that whole section. So council could pull that, go through it, take what they want, get rid of what they don't want. As far as codes go, I did list in here some of the different things on codes that we could use. And then some of the stuff we should put in, like you can only build one tiny home on a lot. So you couldn't take a lot and put 2 different tiny homes on it and then have 2 different residences on them. We don't allow that for our regular residences. You have minimum ceiling heights just like you do in a regular house. One of the differences as far as fire goes, in a standard house you have 2 egress doors, and then every bedroom has to have an egress window. The codes for tiny houses is 1 egress door with 2 egress windows. Those windows have to be on opposite walls and from the door. So you've got 3 different egress points in a smaller home. We could adjust that and say, no, you could have 1 window and 2 doors. Those are all adjustable things that the council could do, but all the code has already been written. We don't have to write anything new for that. Some of the other things I've looked at, obviously on tiny homes, we have, I myself live in a camper. We have quite a few people that live in campers here. Campers do not improve your property value, no matter what. I don't care what size camper you put on your house. The county doesn't come through and go, hey, you got a really expensive camper, we're gonna raise your property values. A tiny home
But a home
does, because a tiny home would have to get a certificate of occupancy, just like any other resident. And I would be more than happy for the people who are already out there, living in a cabin or a shed, and having a camper next to them, because it'd be impossible to prove what's that person living in. If they meet the standards, we come through, inspect them, give them a C of O on it, but it has to meet all the standards of what a regular residence was. Again, on here I added in a bunch of different of the types of codes or issues that could be on there, along with the different things that many people around have already turned into tiny houses where people live out of code areas. Like you go out to Lynn County, their building codes are a lot less than ours. So, I've tried to cover a lot of those. Be more than happy to answer any questions if council ever has these at any time about this. I've done quite an extensive study into it. I've built a few. I mean, obviously, right off the bat, people would, if approved, I know people would be like, shipping containers. Council and the POA have both already had their thoughts on shipping containers, so I don't think that would be an issue we'd have to deal with.
When you talk about tiny homes, there's two kinds that I've seen. You have the tiny home that's gonna be anchored, et cetera, and there's the tiny homes on wheels.
So a tiny home on wheels is just an RV.
Yep, that's an RV.
So
By definition, that's an RV. It's got wheels, it's got
This has to have a frost
it's
footing.
got a frame, yes. A tiny home
foundation.
is gonna have to have the exact same footing that no matter what other size house you're gonna build. It's gonna be a 3-foot deep, 12-inch wide footing if you do those type of footings. I put in different types of footings that would all have the same requirements as any regular house as far as
So
their footings
somebody could
go.
bring a tiny home in now on wheels, and there's nothing to stop that.
Correct. Yeah, there's nothing you could stop somebody from.
As a matter of fact, there is one.
There's 2 of them
Yeah.
that I've seen,
Well,
yes.
didn't we hear, it's been 3 or 4 years ago, remember we had that one sitting up here that they had built, the trailer they had built a house on, and they called it an RV?
Yep, and
Yeah.
legally it is an RV. It is tagged as an RV, you've gotta get it licensed as an RV.
I mean, they had it down there, we made them take it out.
Yeah.
They brought it up, they took the shed off of it, then we sold the trailer.
Oh, okay, yes, but yeah,
For some reason, we didn't allow it.
yeah,
I can't remember what it was.
yeah, I know there's, if you.
Well, that one wasn't registered as an RV though.
And it was never completed, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a frame on it, they left it sit.
Cause it has to pass inspection and everything to get that registration as an RV.
Yeah, and so just like a house, we're gonna do all the regular safety inspections. They're gonna have to have smoke detectors. If they have any propane systems in there, they'll have to have a carbon monoxide propane detector in there. The walls will have to be insulated, which is another huge thing. If you live in a camper, or you've been in a camper out here in the wintertime, you know how it is to try and keep that heated. It'd be a big difference if you had an insulated wall, insulated roof in your house proper windows that were insulated properly. Any questions on this at all?
The only thing I noticed, and that's just me noticing,
Mhm.
was that you call a shed, and I'm going to do it, but you call a shed is 240 square foot measured from the footprint.
Yep.
Or this, you go down 200 foot, I would probably change one of those to be 240, so that no one's like, well, this is just a shed, but it's only 200 square foot.
So again, if you were gonna do, and I put that in there, that the problem of someone taking a shed and turning it into a tiny home, you're gonna be like, yep, you can have your shed, but you need a foundation under it. You have to have the correct headers over your windows and doors.
I just want to make sure there wasn't like people get trying to play
No,
games or
and
something
that's
like
why
that.
all of this was just a one-time go-through. Obviously, we would go through and make sure that all our wording was correct and that all our language is correct. Any questions at all?
I don't know how much of a fight you're gonna have with the POA because it's in the covenants with 600 square feet.
And I would be more than willing to go talk to the POA, but I'm not gonna go to the.
But I will tell you this,
if
these
council's
tiny
like,
homes,
no.
these tiny homes are going up like crazy up in Kansas City.
Oh,
We
I'm
also
not-
have to think about, you know, if we allow tiny homes, somebody may come in and wanna buy some land up and build a tiny home community outside of the gates.
Well,
That would be,
he already pointed that out, you can only have one per lot.
no, somebody
about
coming
outside
outside,
the gates.
somebody buys up some land on Ullery
To
and
develop
says,
it.
I wanna put 100 tiny homes, well, it's probably too many, but I wanna put 10 tiny homes
But
out
they
there.
can't do that unless we, the city, zones it to be that.
Right,
Correct.
I'm just saying, if we allow it, that can happen,
If we zone.
which could be a good thing.
And again, on the
It
zoning.
could bring in some low-cost housing for people that we don't have.
Yeah, again, on the zoning, if council wanted to take a section and be like, let's try this here instead of all over the place at once,
That's,
again, another option.
Yeah, I think that's
well,
something that-
according to the Fair Housing Act, we can't really do that
Okay.
unless I'm wrong.
I don't-
But it's gotta be equal for, what's that?
Okay, yeah, I just know you'll have to rezone whatever lots you would decide to do, those would have to get rezoned. We'd have to come up with a new zoning designation. Or just say, these R2 lots are allowed this building, you know, this type of building now.
I totally agree with you, 'cause we got people living in 50 square foot campers, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Michael, is-
I'm just saying that it's gonna be the argument with the POA, you know, we'll issue a permit, you can have one, they're gonna say no, but, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, I'm not saying,
I'm
cause I
okay.
said that one time before and they didn't disagree with what
I'm
I
only
was
if
talking
the
about.
council decides to go this route, that maybe we can get the POA on board with it also.
Right, but I mean, if we can't, then is there any really?
If the POA was dead set against it and said no, there's no way I wanna fight a city and a POA, being us approving permits and their control committee turning them down and having that fight going
Right.
on.
So I don't know if Jamie can speak to this or not, but the POA can choose to enforce a covenant or not, as long as they do so the same for everybody. So if they decided not to enforce the 600 square foot minimum house on camping lots, they could do that as long as they said all camping lots are this way.
They could, except if someone disagreed, they could file suit to enforce that.
So they pretty much have to enforce them unless
It's, I mean,
but it's also at the
Well,
board's
how many
whim.
theoretically-
people are gonna, I shouldn't say that, there's always somebody that's willing to sue, but, you know, if they're putting small homes in, nice homes in, I mean, so, in theory, no one would do anything. The reality is, someone could complain. You know, what I would suggest you guys do is, if you get time, go to 159th and Black Bob. They just put, they're building still, it's actually for Habitat, it's for people that are getting
Habitat
back
for
on their feet,
Humanity.
yeah. They just got done, well, they're still doing it, but they're close to being done. So there are 12 or 15 homes, used to be a church there.
Yeah.
And now it's, I mean, they're gorgeous, and they're tiny, but, I mean, if you go look at the subdivision, it's amazing how.
I just bid one
And-
that's for veterans.
And
Yeah.
that was my point too about, you know, if, you know, even if the POA says we're still not gonna change our rules, somebody could come in and do that here, outside the gates.
100%,
Yeah.
yes, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
100%.
which could be provide affordable housing down here, which is desperate need.
Correct.
Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Matt.
We are done with the new business.
I guess we'll do
Citizen
We have
participation.
citizen participation for non-agenda items. Is there anyone here?
Before we move on,
Huh?
I guess we'll do business.
Oh,
before we
okay.
move on. Are we gonna be hiring a part-time guy to train, building inspections? You know what I'm saying? Since we don't have one now?
We have a part-time guy.
No, I mean, to replace the one we lost. Or do you-
I don't know
I
that
didn't
we
go
lost.
away.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the whole situation was, you know, you just want to train somebody and then we'll be done with it?
I'm still here.
Is that it? Okay. Now, citizen participation, part 2. Is anybody here that wants to talk about anything, agenda item or not? Now is your time to do so.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'm
Wait,
sorry,
oh,
I'm sorry.
let him
I
up
was
here.
hoping someone else would do it for me.
Yeah, you come up here, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, you're on the screen.
It's gonna be weird.
Just don't look that way.
People usually don't let me talk into microphones, so this is exciting.
But we don't have the 5-second delay, so. you know,
Okay.
here.
I have just 2 things.
Can you tell us your name?
Oh, yes.
Thank you for having me, Mayor, Council. My name is Andrew Ball. I live in Lynn Valley Lakes. And so I have 2 things. One is the contractor registration. Did I miss something else? No.
No.
Okay. One is the contractor registration. So our contractor registration form presented some challenges during my, I'm constructing a home, and it presented some challenges during the construction phase. So the only thing I really think is critical here is that it seems a little silly that any contractor that works in Lynn Valley would have to actually register as a contractor in Lynn Valley when there's people traveling who do work that that may only do a one-time job. And I understand on the form there's a section where you can say, well, I don't want my name on the form. The dilemma that I ran into was that, and what was confusing to me was, I wanted a building delivered, and I had to go through the company and have them register, which is fine enough, but I asked if I could provide a certificate of insurance, and just because they're from 100 miles away, the odds that they're gonna deliver 2 buildings to Lynn Valley is like almost none. So I asked if I could do a certificate of insurance, and the answer was no. And I was surprised because it just seems to limit commerce. So you can tell I don't normally talk in front of people.
I'm fine. You've been absolutely fine.
Does anybody have any questions about that? I don't want to get too far into
Well,
it.
technically, I am a big proponent of not answering because, you know, I don't want to speak out of turn for the city to give time for me to research what you have, but if the mayor's all right with it, I do have some things to say about that.
I think, you know, if you know something and you're comfortable speaking, I don't have a problem doing so.
The reason why we need those contractors, it's only $50, unless we change that.
Nope.
The reason why we gotta have them is because the city has a route they can go if that contractor does something. I understand your certificate of insurance, but that contractor, if they're not willing to pay $50 to just get registered here, I mean, we had this problem during the whole roof thing from the microburst. There was all of these roofing companies coming in here, and they were doing shady stuff. And it's as a council and the city, we hold responsibility for the community. That's why we have them do that.
I understand. I just registered as a contractor, and it was $50, and it showed my certificate of insurance.
I understand, we definitely wanna make sure that people have insurance. I would just, I mean, my insurance got canceled last year in the middle of the year, basically with very little notice, cause they didn't wanna do landscapers anymore, and, you know, I feel like an active certificate of insurance is a little bit more of a badge, but, you know, it's a city thing. I'm not, something in my heart about the $50 just drives me crazy, because the certificate of insurance is an active one, feels to me. But, anyways, the tiny home thing, I think is great too. I really like that a lot. They're more efficient energy-wise. I think, if we were to look at the costs, the legal costs that we've experienced dealing with people living in sheds or, in campers on building lots, and there's all these different things which occur, and then we have legal costs. I live in an RV, which I don't pay any property taxes, which I love, and I can go buy a $100,000 RV, and not pay any property taxes, when a $30,000 house would be well better insulated and provide more revenue to the county. There's about 1 million reasons why the tiny home thing is a great idea. They're safer and more efficient. It creates a lower barrier of entry for people to have vacation homes. So all the campers that are just like parked right now, if you look side by side at a camper versus a tiny home for a vacation, I mean, it's obvious that the tiny home is a much better $30,000 investment than a camper is, and it generates revenue for the city. The odd lot sizes is another thing. My lot is 50 by 95. Try and put a house on that, it gets really tough. Yeah, so lower barrier of entry. I think somebody mentioned Habitat for Humanity. Disabled people may choose to have less square footage to save on cost. There's a million reasons why tiny homes. There's simpler builds. Yeah, that's all I have. I think I'm gonna just wrap up at that point. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
I know who you are now. When you said hi earlier, I know who you are. Recognize you.
If there is nothing else, anybody else want to get up and talk?
I think Mr. President wants to talk.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Yep.